Any analog clock basically is a circle whose measure we know is 360 degrees. Okay, and we know that the clock has 12 divisions. So every division measures how much? 360 upon 12, 30 degrees. Okay. Now there are three types of hands on the clock, right? The seconds hand, the minutes hand, and the hour hand, right? So if you talk about the seconds hand completes 360 degrees in how much time? In 1 minute, right? So the speed of this seconds hand is 360 degrees per minute. Let's talk about the minutes hand. The minutes hand completes this 360 degrees in how much time? In 1 hour, right? So the minute hand completes 360 degrees in 60 minutes. So the speed is 360 upon 60, which is 6 degrees per minute. Okay. And talking about the hour hand basically completes one division, which we studied is 30 degrees. 30 degrees in 60 minutes, right? So speed of the hour hand is 30 degrees upon 60, half degrees per minute. Okay. So that is a basic similarity and difference between clocks and the other questions we solved. In case of clocks, the distance is typically measured in degrees. Okay, because it's a rotational difference, right? And the time is same. It will be basically either in minutes or seconds or whatever. Okay. We'll see a few facts based on clocks. The first fact is the hour and the minute hands coincide 22 times in a day. Let's work it out. I'll try to explain it to you how exactly do we work this out. So we'll just try to understand how this happens. The hour and the minute hands coincide 22 times in a day. Now let's say there is the time which is 1 o'clock right now. Okay, 1 o'clock as the hour and minute hands proceed further, they will both meet after some time, right? And after the meet, they'll again get separated. And after like at 2 o'clock again, like there'll be some time. Uska again they'll meet and get separated, right? So every hour you can observe that the hour and the minute hands will meet exactly once. Okay. The problem happens exactly between 11 and 12, right? Because between 11 and 12 and other 12 and 1, okay, the hands will meet only once. That is at 12 p.m., right? Or 12 o'clock, right? Okay. So between 1 to 11, okay, there is exactly, 10 times where the hands will meet. Okay, 11 to 1 exactly one time. So 10 plus 1 exactly 11 times in 12 hours, right? Right? So exactly 11 times in 12 hours, the two hands will coincide. Okay, so पूरे दिन में कितना हो जाएगा? 12 hours into 2, 24 hours, right? So 11 into 2, 22 times, right? Same thing you can verify for the hour hands, which are 180 degrees apart. Okay, the hour and the minute hands being 180 degrees apart, or they are pointing in the opposite direction. The same way, the same thing will happen 22 times in a day. How? Same way, if you observe between 5 to 7 p.m. exactly एक बार दोनों hands opposite होंगे at 6 p.m. right? बाकी सारे time 10 times होंगे, so 10 plus 1 11 in 12 hours. 24 घंटे में कितना हो जाएगा? 11 into 2 22. Okay. Likewise, the hour and the minute hands are at right angles to each other 44 times in a day. Okay. At what time after 4 o'clock do the minute and the hour hands coincide? So many people blast the answer 4:20. Both easy, sir. But no, that's not correct. Okay. Your answer 4:20 based on the presumption that the hour hand is fixed, right? Hour hand fixed रहेगा तब जाके तो 4:20 पे जब minute hand 20 पे आएगा या 4 पे आएगा तब वो coincide करेंगे, right? But understand, if you observe this animation very carefully right now, you will see that the hour and the minute hand, both hands are moving, right? So they won't be together at 4:20 exactly. At some time after 4:20 they will be together. Why? Because the जितने time में minute hand आगे जाएगा, hour hand भी उतना time में आगे जाएगा, right? So the actual answer is somewhere after, beyond 4:20. Slightly more than 4:20. Okay, so we understand how to solve this question now. Okay, this question will be solved exactly like the thief and the police wala question we solved previously. Okay, we keep the slow person at rest, the thief is fixed, only the police will chase him at the relative speed. Okay, so we know that the hour hand is the slower hand here, uska speed half degrees per minute rehta hai, and minute hand will only basically travel now. As you can see, this is exactly what is going to happen now. The black colored police will chase the red colored thief at relative speed. Very simple now. Okay, so if you talk about the distance is now 4 divisions of 30 degrees each. 30 into 4, it's 120 degrees. Okay, and the relative speed in this case will be 6 degrees for the hour hand, sorry, minute hand, and half degrees for the hour hand. Difference is 11 by 2. So now 120 का difference travel करना है 11 by 2 से, the time taken is 240 upon 11. If you reduce this into mixed fractions, it's basically 21 by 9, 21 9 by 11 minutes. So at exactly 4:21 minutes and 9 by 11th of a second, the two hands will basically coincide. Let's go on further. At what time after 4 o'clock are the minute and the hour hands at right angles for the first time? Again, this is slightly different as compared to the previous one. Okay, now understand, to reduce the angle, what we will do is we'll keep the police moving and the thief fixed. Okay, or we'll keep the hour hand fixed, only the minute hand moves at the relative speed. Okay, the distance to be covered, okay, is how much? Initially the angle between them is 120 degrees. 4 बजे दोनों hands के बीच कितना angle होगा? 4 times 30, 120 degrees. But you want the angle to be how much? 90 degrees, right? So you need to reduce the angle. You need to reduce the angle by how many degrees? 120 initially था, final 90 degrees चाहिए. So by what degrees will you reduce the angle? You will reduce the angle by 30 degrees. अब ये 30 degrees angle कौन reduce कर रहा है? Okay, ये angle reduce कर रहा है हमारा minute hand. Okay, at the relative speed. Okay, understand, both the hands are actually moving. Only for our calculation, for calculating time, we are fixing the r end. Okay, so the minute hand will move at the relative speed 11 by 2 degrees. Okay, 30 degrees at the rate of 11 by 2. How much time will you take? 60 by 11 or 5 by 11 minutes. Okay, so exactly at 4 5 by 11. Okay, the two hands will be at right angles for the first time. Okay, let's go on further. At what time after 4 o'clock do the minute and the hour hands point in opposite directions? Okay. Okay. So at 4 o'clock the minute hand is like this. Minute hand पहले तो hour hand से meet करेगा. Meet करने के बाद वापस वो angle increase करके आगे जाके 180 degrees हो जाएगा, right? Okay. So understand, the minute hand will first reduce the angle 120 and then it will increase the angle 180. Isn't it? So what is the angle the minute hand will travel? Minute hand will travel the angle equals to 120 plus 180, which is 300 degrees, right? Okay, and at what speed? At the relative speed, not its own speed, at the relative speed, which is 11 by 2. So how much time will you take? 300 by 11 by 2. Okay, 600 by 11, 54, 6 by 11. So at what time will the two hands point in opposite directions? At 4:54, 6 by 11. That's the first time. Okay, so let's go on to the next question now. So what is the angle between the minute and the hour end of the clocks at 7:30? Now it is quite different than what we have been solving till now. In the previous questions हमें angle का idea था, but time basically निकालना था. यहाँ पे time दिया हुआ है. We have to find the angle. Okay, it's very simple. Consider the time 7 o'clock right now. Okay. अब 7 o'clock से exactly हो क्या है? Let's observe. The hour and the minute hand both are moving, right? If you see, the hour hand also has moved by some angle, and the minute hand also has moved by some angle, right? Let's understand what is this initial angle between the two hands, guys. The initial two angles will be, the initial angle between the two hands will be 30 degrees का एक division है, ऐसे 60 division है, right? So basically the angle is 7 into 30 to 10 degrees, right? Okay, now what happens is at this time, okay, at this time 7:30, the minute hand has covered a complete distance of how much? It has complete distance of 6 divisions, right? Each division is basically 30 degrees, so 6 कितने होंगे? 6 into 30, 180. Same way the hour hand also has moved by some distance. Okay, the hour hand also moves for 30 minutes and its speed is half degrees per minute. So hour hand has also moved further by 15 degrees. Now इनके बीच का angle जो 210 है, guys, the minute hand is reducing the angle, right? ओके, मिनट हैंड एंगल को कम कर रहा है. ओके, कितना कम करेगा मिनट हैंड? 180 डिग्री से कम करेगा, राइट? बट आवर हैंड आगे जा रहा है, सो आवर हैंड विल इंक्रीज द एंगल बाय हाउ मच? 15. सो व्हाट इज द फाइनल एंगल बिटवीन द टू हैंड्स? इट इज 210 जो इनिशियल था, minus 180 plus 15. The answer is 45 degrees. Okay, so at 7:30 the angle between the two hands is 45 degrees. So let's generalize this now. At 7 o'clock we saw that the distance between the two hands, okay, was 7 into 30 degrees. Okay, so suppose if I generalize, there is a time h hours and m minutes. Okay, for this the difference of these two hands will be how much? It will be h into 30 degrees, right? Okay, same way in the minutes, m minutes which we have, what is the distance the minute hand will move? 6 into m. And what is the distance the hour hand will move? Half into m, which is m by 2. Okay, like the previous question. Okay, जो initial angle था 30h, okay, उसको minute hand कम करेगा, hour hand बढ़ाएगा. So what is the final angle? 30h minus 6m plus m by 2. If you reduce this, it is basically 30h minus 11m by 2. You can also look at it this way, guys. Okay, initially the angle here is 30 into h. Now keeping the hour hand fixed, the minute hand only will move at the relative speed, right? That is 11 by 2 minutes. The new angle is 30h minus 11 by 2 into m. Same thing. Okay, so you can also remember this as a shortcut, a very quick shortcut. Okay, let's see how we apply this in questions. What is the angle between the minute and hour hands of the clock at 10:20? Same thing, you can either calculate like the previous one, okay, or you can also directly apply the formula. It will be 30 into h minus 11 by 2 into m mod. Okay. Okay, so 300 minus 110. The answer again is 190 degrees.